Restored Republic via a GCR. Update as of Friday, October 22, 2021. Compiled Friday, October 22, 2021, 12:01 a.m. EDT by Judy Byington, MSW, LCSW, therapist, journalist, author. 22 Faces, Inside the Extraordinary Life of Jenny Hill and Her 22 Multiple Personalities. Trump to move to a secure location before the weekend. Simon Parks. We passed the point of no return, and there's no stopping this rollout from rolling out. Nick Fleming. Today is the day that they fear so much. Today everything changes. Many will be punished for what they've done. Diana Francis Spencer. In the coming days the Alliance will release Crimes Against Humanity, the largest military operation in the history of humanity. This invisible war is much bigger than WW11. The days ahead will change the world. Red October is happening. 10 days of darkness while the world goes into full martial law. Have 2 to 3 weeks of food and necessities on hand. Media, internet, phones and TV programming shut down and people asked to remain indoors so the U.S. military could broadcast 10 days of 3-by-8-hour sessions of video confessions, military tribunals and evidence of scandals as military across the globe removed certain governments and made arrests on 500,000 indictments. Chinese Communist Party pushing war on Taiwan. Social media including Facebook to disappear from the web. And new and transparent web would appear on the quantum internet system. Veritas released on Pfizer. Soros exposed. Trust the plan. Q. Judy note, sorry about not getting out today's newsletter. The bad guys have been at it again, as they have since I first published 22 Faces. They whacked my email account good. No worry. Now all is well. Though, speaking about what the bad guys have been up to. The event Swanos having on Thursday 21st of October, a specific dark, precise event will shortly go down, triggering other events, all showing that we were on the winning side of a war. The war will go through March 2022, and then on for a couple of years. A possible schedule of events. Judy note, the below was a compilation of intel from 2 separate high-up sources, Charlie Ward, Bruce and Marks. Last week 2 monetary systems from the Legacy Fund downloaded into the bank and from there was successfully placed into the proper accounts. This week 25 other accounts would be moved. On Sunday 17th of October, the cabal defaulted, the Federal Reserve and IRS were no longer under their control. This opened the door for the global currency reset. Sunday night 17th of October Tesla-free energy connected to the U.S. power grid system, plus the new rates of all currencies in the first basket to revalue appeared on bank screens. On Monday 18 Tesla-free energy was hooked up to the national power grid. On Wednesday 20th of October. Funding of the 26 master accounts began. Starting this morning Thursday 21st of October and ending sometime on Sun. 24th of October the final countdown would go forth for Tier 4B, US, the Internet Group, to receive the secured website and obtain 800s to make exchange/redemption appointments. The general public Tier 5 would follow about 3 days after Tier 4B began. On free night 22nd of October President Trump was expected to board Air Force One in preparation for the global currency reset and return of 209 countries to gold/asset-backed currencies. Saturday 23rd of October would be an important date. The emergency broadcast system could come out. Saturday 23rd of October, Tesla-free energy would kick in and go through the present power lines. Cost of your former electrical bill should drop by 75%. The military was already using Tesla-free energy. Also on Saturday 23rd of October, bondholders, handled out of Reno, Zurich, New York, Texas and Hong Kong, would receive a percentage of their accounts. Sun./Monday 25th of October, President Trump would tweet, "My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us," and then he would begin to send out on the emergency broadcast system 7 presidential messages to phones and TV sets worldwide. Monday 24th of October to Tuesday, 2nd of November, 10 days of darkness was slated to begin while the world went into full martial law. Thursday 28th of October to Sunday 7th of November, Moscow announced was a 10-day closure of non-essential services. During this 10 days of darkness, all militaries of the globe and via the U.S. military would shut down all media, internet, phones and TV programming. For 10 days 100% of the people would be asked to remain indoors so the military could make mass arrests and broadcast 10 days of 3-by-8-hour sessions of video confessions, military tribunals and evidence of scandals. While this was happening, the military would be removing governments worldwide and making global arrests on 500,000 indictments filed in federal courts across the nation and globe. GCR/NISRA would be activated. B. Thursday 21st of October, the big call, Bruce: The final countdown for Tier 4B, US, the Internet group, to receive the secured website and obtain 800s to make exchange/redemption appointments, started this morning Thursday 21st of October and would end sometime on Sunday 24th of October. Saturday 23rd of October would be an important date. The EBS could come out. Saturday 23rd of October, Tesla free energy would kick in and go through the present power lines. Also on Saturday 23rd of October, bondholders, handled out of Reno, Zurich, New York, Texas and Hong Kong, would receive a percentage of their accounts. SIM cards that put G6 into your cell phone would start to be mailed out Monday 25th of October and would complete on Mon. 29th of November. The SIM cards would be active January 1st, 2022. After the exchange/redemption, no one, including those in the bank, would see your bank balance except you, unless you gave them specific permission. CQFS update. Charlie Ward: Charlie Ward was the official spokesperson for the Quantum Financial team. It was Ward's team that moved 650 plane loads of gold from a 150-mile tunnel that ran from Switzerland to Israel, beneath the Vatican, to the proper owners, the U.S. Treasury and treasuries of other countries. He said, "They're not in any hurry. They're making sure there are no mistakes. The White Dragon family elders have cut off giving credit, or monies, to the cabal. The backup of ships in the U.S. ports has everything to do with Trump's CEO that there would be no foreign interference in an election. If they did, the U.S. would not trade with that country. The Chinese Communist Party was behind 2020 election fraud, as were other countries. 3,300 Starlink satellites have been launched for the new quantum systems to allow the military to take over and ensure transparency in mass media and the global monetary system." Wednesday 20th of October. News from Coach Jerry. The looming Durham report, rumors its release involving actual indictments will surface. Very aggressive rumors this time around. The China Evergrande debacle will finalize October 23, causing a devastating financial ripple, eventually turning into a worldwide cascade or financial collapse. Perhaps this was the water cue referenced? Watch the water. As a result of Evergrande demise, many reliable fund managers and investment advisors, I have followed for years, are predicting a major market crash very soon. And they are using the word crash, not correction. Rumor is D1 and D2 may have been released. unconfirmed. But if true, this is it. I'm predicting everything breaks loose on or before October 29th. Why? 1. Still red October month and before the satanic activity kicks into high gear October 31st. 2. The 1929 market crash ushering in the Great Depression happened on October 29 th. 3. October 29, 2021 is on a Friday and also a Q date. October 29, 2021, eliminating IE not counting zeros. 1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 17 exclamation mark. E. Nick Fleming on Postnezera : Postnezera, under the law of the land, all of the many unlawful laws issued under corrupt government practices, are null and void. Here are a few things that will change. IRS is no longer the collection arm of the Vatican, they are simply an entity to collect a flat tax from new items sold. Nothing more. Banks will not deal with usurious loans. Loans with interest attached will become unlawful. Like the Sharia laws in the Middle East nation-states, the original U.S. Constitution made usury unlawful. You buy what you can afford, or you don't buy it. If you want to buy something and spread out the payments and the bank agrees, the loan is paid in equal amounts every month for a window time, which is simple interest. Lots of money will be set aside for this, along with supporting small bank fees, helping many afford to buy nicer things. Bonds that have been issued by city, state, county governments, and floated on the market, are usurious and therefore not lawful. These bonds are issued by a licensed entity, then over a number of years the taxpayers' payments pay for these loans. Truly, we taxpayers have no idea how this bond issuance works. Where's the original guarantee of these bonds coming from? What are the terms of the bond notes? What is the default remedy? This bond issuance shell game has grown and is in use to such an extent that it's impossible for common people to know. We pay our taxes, but there's no budget. Everything is left to bonds. But AI, the quantum system, will know. If the QFS is tracking money up to 50 moves, these questions have already been answered. Whether truthfully or not, this will be disclosed post-Nizra. There's a great example of the frequent comment, "You won't believe the shocking things about to be disclosed." While it seems that the interest paid, as quoted on the PR discussed, and the investment offering, is obviously conservative, it is only a mirage. The original paper issued toward this bond, the guarantor, takes their profit up front in the form of a discount. They and another 4 or 5 close friends have taken a nice chunk on this bond, 20% maybe more, and this profit is culled in hours and days. It's a Ponzi scheme for these entities that is not explained and not understood by normal taxpayers. Bonds will go away in their present form. There won't be any need for bonds. The money will donate to our cities, our states, our nation, for purposes that these bonds go to, will more than cover this need. The bonds that are already issued will be written off, they were paid up long ago. No further issuance against tax dollars will be happening. No further usury allowed. All unlawful laws and actions that profit the few, while penalizing the chattel, we the people, will be wiped from the books. To Goldilocks comment, watch the banks. She's talking about the end of the reign of banks, the Federal Reserve, and the central banks, through forward rate, which means they can't sustain under the load of debt they've wrought. We're at the point of non-sustaining debt already. Hence the point, anyone with money in banks is taking a risk right now. Banks are about to fail, big time. The rule is that government bondholders get paid first. Account holders get to wait for pennies on the dollar, up to the max a few $100,000. and even that is doled out. Get your money out of the bank and in your safety deposit box in the form of solid gold or silver. Then you're absolutely safe. That's my advice and the advice of lots of normal people, not financial advisors. This time in history is pivotal. Be ready to float. F. Nick Fleming on currency holders. For currency holders, the assets you hold are like bond notes, provided from foreign countries. It's legal tender with a country's guarantee for payment. When these countries convert to an asset-backed system, they're obligated under international treaty to exchange their existing currency for present day, and there's our benefit. We will have the opportunity to exchange this new golden asset for our new golden solid asset, tax-free. All of this is predicated on the opportunity we're ultimately presented with. Under the present financial system, for Iraq dinar specifically, under EO 13303, this was made possible by Bush Sr. and agreed to under international treaty. There's the major issue we're faced with. Under the present government we're caught in a big net. This IRS issue of requiring banks to report on all accounts spending over $600 per month is not kosher with NISRA. Even the stupid, emo, disgust raised to $10,000 is incredible overreaching, not NISRA compliant. IRS cannot be the entity here. They have been taken into the U.S. Treasury. Great. What about their private entity status? We must have clarity here. The U.S. Treasury has some explaining to do. The government all must step down while we clear up who's dirty and corrupt and who deserves the honor of serving the people. This includes every entity licensed under the U.S. government as a subcontractor too. The reign of this cabal of criminals must end. NISRA wipes the slate clean. G. Trump launches social platform Truth Social. Come November 1, 2021, I formed Truth Social and the Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, to counter the tyranny of the tech giants, Trump said in a statement, adding that his platform would be launched in the first quarter of 2022. The big companies in Silicon Valley have used their one-sided power to silence dissent in America, Trump added. He was ousted from Facebook, Twitter and YouTube following the January 6 attack on the U.S. Congress. Before he was ousted, Trump had almost 89 million followers on Twitter. When he announced a number of presidential decisions, he had 35 million followers on Facebook and 24 million on Instagram. The Truth Social platform will be available in beta on call from November 2021, the statement said, while Trump's new media group TMTG will also have an on-demand video service with entertainment programs and podcasts. Trump's new company is a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company. It's chartered, and flush with $293 million cash, with the express intent of acquiring and operating media assets. That could be social apps, but also cable channels, or other things. It is not just a social app. It will raise more money and begin announcing acquisitions soon. Initial valuation posted at $1.7b.h. Food, goods, fuel shortages and the Illuminati's New World Order crisis: Is the supply chain being sabotaged? 14 people to blame for nationwide product shortages to be named Monday 9 p.m. EDT, Hal Turner. Breakneck bottleneck. Record container ships waiting off California coast. 100 ships are frozen at sea outside the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, making the backlog of cargo ships the worst it's ever been, KBC reports. Another 45 ships are expected to arrive by Thursday. Secretary of Transport, and Biden lackey, Pete Buttigieg, who recently returned from 2 months paid paternity leave, called the issue complicated and said the government is working with ports, truckers and logistics companies to resolve the supply chain crisis. Coffee crisis. Caribou Coffee admits to hoarding stock. With a global shortage of between 4-7 million bags of Arabica coffee beans, Caribou Coffee CEO John Butcher has confessed his company is storing as much as they can for their 450 stores. Global financial crisis: Whiplash 347, the war is on Rothschild's US dollar by global white hat military alliance of Trump, Xi, Putin, Modi, KJU etc. China Evergrande set to collapse, potentially causing US-style GFC, news.com.au, Australia's leading news site. Shares of the Chinese property giant Evergrande fell as much as 14% in Hong Kong on Thursday morning, 21st of October, 2021. Evergrande shares tumble on sale failure, 97% plunge in sales as markets brace for Chinese default avalanche. Tether is backed by Chinese debt, which is crumbling day by day. This is why they're rushing to pump Bitcoin to new highs. It's a ticking time bomb. March 17, 2020, Operation Defender Europe. Rockefeller oil/stock market collapse into Chapter 11 bankruptcy and merging of Federal Reserve and Treasury. What happened at the U.S. Capitol today? Why helos circling? Why was camel toe plastered up against the window as the motorcade was leaving? Why were the people running from the building to the vans? Why was a new and second fence installed around the Capitol exterior? FRMR Venezuelan spy chief extradited to U.S. on drug trafficking charges. Spain has agreed to extradite Venezuela's ex-spy master Hugo Carvajal to the U.S. after denying him political asylum. Carvajal, a key ally of the late Hugo Chavez, was arrested in Spain last month. U.S. officials apparently believe he could provide a wealth of information on the alleged drug activities of current President Nicolas Maduro. Japan. Mount Taso, one of the largest volcanoes in the world, has erupted in Kyushu, Japan. This looks to be the first activity at the volcano since 2016. Portuguese police seized more than 5 metric tons of cocaine worth $232 million off a 79-foot yacht in the Atlantic Ocean. Ireland, 88 banks close in one day across Ireland. Vladimir Putin will not attend the 26 Colombian pesos climate summit, Kremlin. New military doctrine between Russia and Belarus to be approved soon, Russian defense minister. German Bundesbank President Weidmann resigns, cites personal reasons. Police raid homes, businesses across Germany, Italy, Bulgaria and mafia probe. Ex-German soldiers arrested for trying to create paramilitary unit to fight in Yemen. Forever chemicals from almost 42,000 sources threaten to contaminate drinking water. Beef and chicken set to become luxuries as inflation pushes food prices ever higher. Natural gas shortages prompt power plants to switch to oil. Rand Paul, Democrats are going to go after ordinary people with massive spending bill. Jen Psaki says empty shelves and rising prices are due to increasing demand. Russia and allies stage major military drills near Afghan border. Empty shelves. Joe, more than half of Americans have experienced supply chain issues. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says border situation worsening into a firing war as cartel members take shots at National Guard. Rats are jumping ship and NIH just announced. Yes. False did fund gain of function. China has tested 2 orbital hypersonic missiles with a nuclear charge. Panicked analysts say it defies the laws of physics and is unlike any weapon the U.S. has, Daily Mail. Observers say that China's new weapon appears to be an update of Soviet Cold War technology called the Fractional Orbital Bomber System, FOBS. The U.S. Navy and the U.S. Army have tested prototypes of hypersonic weapon components, the Pentagon said. The NIH, National Institutes of Health, submitted a document to the U.S. House of Representatives stating that the institute funded research to increase functionality in Wuhan. Dr. Fauci, the director of NIAID, was under oath during a conversation with Senator Rand Paul, denying that the NIH funded a study to increase functionality. Facebook plans to change the name. The rebranding will put the platform on a par with the company's services such as Instagram, WhatsApp and others. Zuckerberg believes that in this way the social network will look like an application of a global company that does not define it. Biden arrived in Scranton, his motorcade was booed again. In Los Angeles, in front of the Netflix headquarters, far-left activists protested against the transphobe Dave Chappelle in his new show in which he tells jokes to transgender and gay people. The capital of Afghanistan, Kabul, and a number of other Afghan provinces were left without electricity due to an explosion at a power plant. Support for Biden is rapidly waning. A CNBC poll revealed concerns about the economy, COVID and inflation. The majority, 52%, disapprove of Biden's work. In Syria, 24 people were executed because of forest fires. Huawei, a Chinese tech giant blacklisted by U.S. trade companies, paid veteran Democratic lobbyist and donor Tony Podesta $500,000 for lobbying the interests of the White House for 1 quarter. At the Valdai Forum, Putin compares the struggle for equal rights in Western countries with Bolshevik dogmatism on the verge of absurdity and calls for rational conservatism. He called it monstrous when children in the West are taught that a boy can become a girl and vice versa. The Quantum Financial System, Whiplash 347: Rothschild's central bank oil/war-backed notes are being changed out with rainbow Treasury Department notes in every country. USDN etc. You can see Australian central bank deal on notes. Look it up. In the global currency reset we reevaluate all currencies on Earth so they are even. You remember Trump saying even playing field and talking about the road trip and the RV. I gave you those 3 foreign currencies that will have big worth: Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong and the 2008 AA $100 trillion note from Zimbabwe. So remember I said many immigrants will return home to their lands to build and rebuild under newly blockchain-elected non-tyrant governments 10% the size of what they are now. Third world nations under GCR receive massive money to build and rebuild from years of rape, pillage, genocide, war, and destruction. Think Africa, Mideast, Asia, and South America. They will be building these continents and nations up to being first world. To have what we have, I am pretty sure the plan is to populate the entire world and one day in near future will become interplanetary. See Elon and Mars. So instead of oil-backed currencies we move to using precious metals. I have always mentioned gold, silver, platinum, palladium, iridium and copper. Add rhodium too. 1. If Trump has repeatedly mentioned crypto isn't good, why should we risk buying it? Well, the answer was he doesn't like unregulated crypto and not backed by anything. So there is a international regulation ISO 20022 they will need to come under. Follow the XRP, SEC case to know which ones that have been brought up as they are the ones that will fail. EBTC, Tether, EDH, Monero etc. You have the high-resolution QFS chart I provided showing regulation, certificates, metal/stock/asset backing. You may back your ISO 20022 digital currency by chili powder or coffee beans. I almost said mung beans. 2. Is crypto part of cabal? Except for certain ones? Crypto is an old term. The new way is asset-backed digital currency. The white hats have taken it all over. To get onto the QFS it must regulated and backed. The United States Space Force are the guardians of the galaxy and the quantum internet and systems. All protected above by secret space programs. Out of cabal's reach. This is why Donald J. Trump created the Space Force. 3. Can you explain rainbow treasury notes? Yes, we have been living a Rothschild's central banking system where they loan money to govs at a high interest rate that they never ever were getting back. Every 4 years you have stupid no good for nothing rigged elections always about paying debts back. So USA used to have treasury gold-backed notes years ago. Every country will be changing notes to rainbow treasury notes as in treasury departments that will be backed by all precious metals rather than just gold. In today's day and age mining metals is a lot more established than it was back then. 4. What is going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, there has been an operation against it shutting the BTC mining down worldwide. I have big lists of the mine shutdowns/seizures on the channel. Prices have continued to climb due to less supply equals higher demand. Bitcoin uses too much electricity, wired, and we are moving to wireless free energy. Bitcoin has also been using for trafficking and many other nefarious activities. It will not pass regulation. It is tied to Tether, which is tied to the US Rothschild's dollar. There is a data center that will be taken out in China and the collapse will be dramatic. 5. And 6. Is XRP going to be the new currency for the good people and not the corrupt? XRP equals banks, XLM equals for the people. Can you explain? XRP equals banking institutions used for instant payments. Will be a buyback no doubt. XLM equals for business, for the people. Will be used as a method of payment along with other ways. Think why Akon sold his BTC for XLM. The whole point of the regulation and metal/stock/asset backing is to stop corruption. It must pass hoops to get on quantum financial system. 7. Would appreciate a step-by-step on how to get XRP from Uphold to Ledger. 8. How do I get my XRP shares out of wallet into Lobster? Subscribe to this channel if you want to move XRP into the chain version. 9. I read somewhere that when the mortgage debt is erased so are your property rights. All ownership goes to the government. Is that true? False. That is a scare from the cabal. Fear not. Debts are wiped because you have all lived under an illegal unconstitutional system since 1871. 10. If I have my money savings and checking in a bank that is an FDIC member, is it safe? Your money is safe. It will transfer to the Treasury notes/new QFS. I would recommend investing in at least silver or XRP/XLM as a minimum. 11. I only have some XRP on Uphold, which is a wallet also. Is it safe to keep it there? I'm new to the whole confusing steps to take on crypto. I hear Abra is the place to move it to. I keep XRP in Exodus or another to use as Zim. 12. How will people's mortgages be affected if they own a condo or apt since it's multiple residences in one building? Mortgages wiped. The old corrupt disease temple is getting Humpty Dumpty. 13. Is the IRS gone and will we get our funds back from it? Yes, plus much more. Don't get me started on birth certificates. They get sold by the Vatican 20,000 times. 14. We cashed out of our stocks in case of market crash. Most funds are in IRA retirement accounts. What should we do about cash? Reinvest, if so, in what? Or keep in cash for now? Yes, I recommend you invest in at least silver, XRP and XLM. But cash will transfer as mentioned. 15. Will all our debt be wiped out when NISR/GCR is implemented? Yes, 50th Debt Jubilee Year 2. It is biblical. We are the creators of our own reality. We are powerful divine beings with infinite creative abilities. But to create this reality requires the energy of action. So, let's act now. Do something today that will mark the beginning of this wonderful future for you, your loved ones and all of humanity. Zim redemption and/or currency exchange appointment. The following was in my opinion only and could easily change by your appointment time. Official instructions would come with publication of the secured website. In order to redeem bonds and/or exchange foreign currencies at the higher rates, you must go to a redemption center within the days allotted for such exchanges/redemptions. If you go to a bank, they would give you the lower rates as shown on the Forex for that day. Notification to set appointments at redemption centers would come out by way of letters to your email account. Those emails would contain a link to a secured website. That secured website link would also be published on various dinar websites as well as be in a restored republic via a GCR update. To access an appointment at a redemption center, go into the secured website where it would ask you to verify that you are you, after which you would be given an individual 800 number to call to set your redemption/exchange appointment. While you could send the secured website link to anyone you wished, your individualized 800 number could only be used by you and only once to set your appointment. Currency rates. No one has knowledge of the currency exchange rates for Tier 4B as they would be set just prior to notification. Zim Rate. We don't know what the Zim Rate was. The UST listed the Zim at a 1-to-1 for countries other than the US. The US requires a project for the Zim redemption at the higher rates. If you had Zim and don't have a project, you could take a default rate. No one knows what the default rate would be. If you had a project, the rate for your Zim would be on a sliding scale of from below $1 to $1 depending on the needs of your project presentation and how many years you wished for your payout. 80% of that payout would go to your project and 20% would be for yourself. You would also earn interest on money left at the bank during your payout period, which could be substantial. If you don't have projects, and you don't have Zim, you could ask for contract rates on your currency. Except for seniors over 65, all Zim redemption would be on a payout in the number of years of your choice up to 50 years. You would be paid interest on your money left at the bank during your payout period for as much as 7% to 8% a year depending on how many years you decided for your payout. The dinar and dong exchange could be used for your project. You could invest in the international projects and would benefit from that commitment. If you elected to go with international projects, your team would take it and run with it and you would be hands-off. A trust account owns the projects. Your exchange/redemption team would be available to help you manage your project. There may be oversight during the first couple of years to determine that you're actually delivering on your commitment to humanitarian work, infrastructure and philanthropy. The trust still owns everything. Presenting a project. Have around 3 typewritten pages with details of your projects, describing your intentions, your ability to perform and the amounts you would allocate to it. They are looking at the longevity of your project and how many jobs it would create. Your currency exchange was a non-taxable event. The Zim redemption might have an estate, capital gains and/or earned interest tax. It was advised with the Zim that you set aside an amount to cover possible taxes. The UST was going to charge a fee to exchange and to redeem. We don't know exactly what that would be until we get to the delivery.